My name is Patricia.
Hello, if you just join us, my name is Agnes, and today Patricia and I are honored to have in our midst Annette. Annette is an old school. She's one of the dinosaurs in Canada. She came here a long time ago, but today we want to take her back to listen to her immigration story, where she is from, how long she's been here, and what are some of the things that she wants to share with some of you or me who just arrived. No, I didn't just arrive. Welcome, Annette.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring our invitation. It took so long, but today you are here.
Yes. My pleasure.
So, Annette,
Mhm.
where are you from?
I'm-
Originally, that is the question Canadians will ask you, and I'm asking you
Yes.
today.
I'm originally from Jamaica.
Oh, that is
Yes.
on my bucket list. I'm really going to go there soon.
It's a wonderful place to go for
I see the
a
photos.
vacation. Yes,
Mhm.
beautiful island.
A beautiful island.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm originally from Jamaica. I was born in Montego Bay.
Hey,
Yes,
is that the
Montego
same
Bay,
place
Jamaica.
Bob Marley is from?
No, Bob Marley was born in St. Anne,
Okay.
up in the
I
hills.
see. I hear that name more.
Montego
Bay.
Yes. Yeah.
That is
Who doesn't know Montego
is-
Bay?
Montego Bay is a popular tourist destination on
That's
the
where the
north
ship,
coast.
that big ship dock, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's why. I think that's
right.
what I saw. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So yes, I'm originally from Montego Bay, but I ended up in adult years living in Kingston as well.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
Montego Bay, Kingston. Those
Yes.
are the two popular Jamaican
Popular
names there.
Jamaican,
Yeah.
yes. Popular Jamaican cities, yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
And how long have you been here in Canada or in Edmonton? Have you been in the other part of Canada?
Oh yes.
Okay.
We came to Canada in 2006 and we lived in Mississauga, so in the GTA.
Okay.
Right. And then in 2010, we moved to Edmonton. And that was after I had done a course at through Mohawk College, but it was at McMaster University.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And then I got a job here, and so the family moved up to Edmonton.
Awesome.
Mhm.
If you just join us, this is Seasway Podcast. And like we promised you in our earlier podcast, we said we want to hear your stories, your immigration stories, the first 2 years that you've been here. Annette has not been here for the first 2 years, but we want to give her a chance to tell us. So how was it like when you first arrived in Canada? Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody say that.
Yeah.
And it comes
Yes, it was, you always hear things, but until you come and experience it for yourself, it is not
the same.
the same.
Yes.
It's not the same. It was a very hard transition. Very hard transition because, yes, I was a doctor, a junior doctor, granted in Jamaica.
In Jamaica?
Yes.
Huh?
And I came with two young children. My son was 2 years old.
Mhm.
And I came knowing that I would have to do exams to get re-registered.
Yes, here in Canada.
But to do housework, take care of the
two
family,
kids,
2
no
kids,
babysitter, no
no
family,
babysitter,
no
no family,
grandmother.
nothing.
Oh goodness.
And I had thought that I would be able to work because I had other qualifications, because I had been a laboratory technologist before.
Even before you became a
Even
junior
before,
doctor.
yes, even before I did medicine.
Wow.
And when I came, I realized it was too far in the past that that qualification was not recognized
Here
here in
Canada.
Canada.
Wow.
So it's like I could not do anything like
And you
that.
could not get rid of the 2 kids to pursue profession like no.
No. So I had to find time to study
Yes.
and take care of my family at the same time.
Wow.
it was stressful.
It
And
is.
so you came in, you had some money, and you say, okay, this is supposed to last X time. It doesn't.
Oh no.
It never does.
And when you came here to Canada, was your family with you? Was your husband with you?
Oh yes,
Mhm.
my husband came first
Mm-hmm.
to try to. He just came for a month because my husband is like this. I'm from Jamaica, but he's from a little country in West Africa, Guinea-Bissau.
Oh yeah.
And he is very family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
So even 1 month away from his family was very hard
For him.
for him.
That's very
But he
beautiful.
came to get the apartment, to
Aw.
get the furnishings,
Yes.
so that he said,
My family is coming.
yes, excitement. And so he was here. But, when children are small, it is always good to have, even if you don't have immediate family,
Mm-hmm.
but friends,
Oh yes.
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 we know that's
Oh
our
yes.
culture.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But here it is
It
so
wasn't like
different.
that.
No,
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
you
I can imagine. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. And what profession was he in Jamaica?
Okay, so my husband um, has a degree in economics.
Mm-hmm.
So but his specialty was in data analysis.
Oh. Okay.
So he worked with a government training agency in Jamaica
yeah.
that was set up to train people in the different professions and work as a data analyst.
Yes.
And he also taught in part-time in one of the business schools
In Jamaica.
in Jamaica. So when he came here now, for the same thing as me, he had to requalify.
Yes.
So he started, of course, in all the little labor jobs and whatever, trying to give me the chance to study and then to go and do my
Medicine.
exams.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, to come into medicine.
Yeah, and now you have these young kids to take care of.
To take care of, you know.
Yes.
And you are used to having a babysitter back home.
Yes.
Now you
Family
had to
around.
do the housework.
Yes.
You had to take care of the kids.
Yes.
You had to work. How did that work for you?
Okay, so my first job earning money was as a Russian language interpreter.
Mm.
So that was only, yes, because, I didn't mention that my husband
That
and
is what I was going to ask. No, how many caps do you wear? Please, Dr.
Many.
Annette. No, guys, if you just join us, this is Sizwe Podcast. I'm talking to Dr. Annette. I am sorry. I didn't know you were a doctor in Jamaica.
Yes.
And I've been calling you Annette.
That's okay.
And you can interpret Russian language.
Yes. I always say to people who get to know that was a different life. But yes, my husband and I met when we were studying in former Soviet Union. We actually studied in Ukraine, in a city that is right now under conflict.
Okay, so
Right.
by then it was under the Soviet Union, so
It was,
Ukraine
right.
was part of Russia.
That's right.
Yes, yeah.
Right. And so we studied in Russian. As a matter of fact, my husband and I, when we met, the only language we had in common was Russian.
Russia.
Right, because his first language is Portuguese and
yours
mine
is
is English.
Wow.
So all our communication when we first got
goodness.
married was Russian.
Wow.
And now back to Jamaica
Yes,
to
and
practice your medicine.
yes.
And now in
And
Canada,
now in Canada, that's right.
then the medicine is shelved and you pick up the Russian language in interpreter job.
That's right.
Beautiful.
So while I was doing exams and I actually was asked to interpret for other new immigrants who
yes.
came in by the Newcomers Association. So that was how I started to pick up my first
Wow.
paychecks in Canada.
Wow. Wow. What a
Yes.
journey.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
Interesting. And sometimes, when I turned up, it was like, you're the interpreter?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
We were expecting the Russian.
Yes.
And then you, that's
Yeah,
so
I
beautiful.
said, yes,
Mhm.
that's me.
Guys, if you just join us, this is Sizwe Podcast. My name is Agnes. Annette is here. Dr. Annette, sorry. And Patricia is here. We are just enjoying her immigration stories. And sometimes, when you come here, you really have to reinvent yourself. And Annette is one of the person who has reinvented herself. No, I don't want her to reinvent herself. How can you come here from Jamaica as a medical doctor, a junior medical doctor, and now, because of exams, family matters, you really have to change courses?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, to find something
Yes.
that is worthwhile.
Yes. So I started doing the exams, and they were very expensive. The
Yes.
first one is like 2,000 Canadian dollars.
Oh, and how much
Wow.
were
I
they
got-
paying you for that interpreter job? By the time you pay for your apartment, buy diapers.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
So I made it through to the second exam, and then I said, I don't know. I cannot see myself going through this process for years. And I said, I need to do something else that will take me
How
into the
easy
world of
or
work.
how difficult was that decision?
It was very hard.
Yes.
Wow.
Very
There
hard.
is no way, like if you were my daughter, that you struggled so much
To be a doctor.
to be
Yes.
a doctor,
Yes.
Mhm.
that you were pursuing to specialization to become somebody, and because of travel and change of environment,
Yes.
you have to take that decision.
Yes.
Mhm.
What did you land it on? Or what did you land on? Sorry.
Well, I did my research, and I felt that doing a postgraduate course in ultrasound would be my best avenue to get me back into
the medical
field, and in
Yes.
something that wouldn't take too long, so that my family could begin to settle. And
Wow.
so I applied at that year for 2 courses, one for general ultrasound and the other for specialized ultrasound to do cardiac ultrasound. Now,
Wow.
when I did the application for general ultrasound, that was at one university in Ontario that had not taken anybody in that course for about 2 years.
Wow.
So there were hundreds of applicants.
My goodness.
And I got through the first round of competition. And then I got called from the other. And they were wanting to know if I had done my English as a foreign language exam.
Say it's a medical doctor, please.
Because the reason why they called me to ask me that was because my medical degree
Was
is
in
Ukraine, Russian language.
Yes.
So I said, no, my first language is
It's
English.
This
Welcome
one is
to
back-
Canada.
So they said, as long as I can prove that I did grade 12 English, then I
They
did
are
not
good
have.
with that.
I
Okay.
said, oh, thank God.
Thank God.
And so I just went straight ahead. I found the documents
Yes.
and then
Because
sent
the
it to them.
transcript said, yeah.
Yes. And so
Mm.
I was accepted to do cardiac ultrasound. And I said, okay, that's it.
That's it for me.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. If you just join us, guys, this is Sizwe Podcast, and we are sharing our immigration stories. Today the highlight is on Dr. Annette. She used to be a medical doctor in Jamaica. And when you travel, all of you who are listening to us, and if you are in Canada, you know how it is.
Yes.
You just have to lay down all the badges that you are wearing to start
That are
again.
fresh, yes.
And that's what happened to Annette.
Mm.
And she has to reinvent herself. How did you find your new
Profession.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That's the other thing.
Yes.
You know, this is something that I have had challenges with each time I transition.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as I said before, I didn't mention that before I did medicine, I did say that I was a
A
laboratory.
laboratory, yes.
Right.
Technician, yes.
So when I went to study medicine, The theoretical part was okay. The practical
Practical.
part is usually a harder transition.
Yes.
And it was the same thing
For
with
you, yeah.
echocardiography, which I'm doing now. The theory was not,
Okay, yes.
yeah, not so much of a challenge. Even though, yeah, the slant was different. Now you have to be learning different skills,
Mm-hmm.
more physics, that kind of thing. The practical part of it was more of a challenge. Have to learn different skill sets.
Yes, yeah.
And my son is 2 years old and
Oh,
he's growing up and he
no.
wants mom.
Mom, yes.
And it's like I had to learn how to balance the hours of trying to learn my new skills and being a
Being a
mom,
mother with no family support.
no family support. Going out to do the internship.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Who
hard.
do you leave your child with? It's 5:30 and you are not done, and the daycare
Yes.
is calling you.
That's right. And then because I'm an older person studying, when I went out, I felt like I was not fully accepted. It's
Yes.
like you have to get over the subtle signals that are
Yes,
sent.
that are not
Mhm.
spoken.
That's
like
right.
that. The covert,
That-
like why is she here?
Why are you
And then
exactly
you are also
when you're
asking
in the
yourself,
field learning? Yes.
You're also asking yourself, why did I leave all that I had as a
Mhm.
medical doctor to
Right, to put myself
through
down.
this?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
And so that part of it again, but there in one of my places of training, there was another female doctor who had gone through the same thing and she was now
Awesome.
in the same
Wow.
profession.
Awesome.
And she said, this is a challenge of confidence.
Yes.
It is not your ability. It is your confidence which has taken a hit.
You are battling with
Yes,
right now.
right.
Yes, because if you look at your ego, you're like, okay, done.
Yes.
I won't put myself through this.
Yes.
But then you have to get over
that
to learn.
because I'm telling you, because younger people were teaching me
Yes.
Mhm.
and they made me feel bad.
Yes.
Wow.
You
Oh,
know?
you can't
Oh,
understand
yes.
this. Oh, this is simple.
Yes. Yes, it's true.
So you felt incompetent.
Yes.
And you are like,
Yes. They
oh,
made me feel like, you're not gonna get this. And so at times I felt like, am I gonna get this?
I'm gonna get this.
Yes, I
and you
had
did
to
it.
tell myself,
Yes.
you can do this. And I thank God still, even for my husband, he said, it's not rocket science.
Oh yeah, I tell myself most of the time, it's
Yes.
not. I don't know where I heard that
Yes.
term, but ever since, sometimes when it is so, like even when I was learning how to drive, I
Yes.
tell myself, this is not rocket science.
Yes.
I have to beat
That's
this.
right.
Yeah.
Other people can do it,
Mhm.
and you've done harder things,
Yes.
so you can do it.
You can do it. Exactly.
And it was hard. There were times when I'm telling you, I went home, I cried.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
many times.
Yes.
I can't imagine, honestly.
Yes.
I thought my story was worse, but for a medical doctor to come to Canada to
Mhm.
lay down all the certificate and the pride, the
Yes.
wearing of that white gown.
Mhm.
Yeah. Even though, as I said, having studied in Ukraine and gone back to my country, I had a similar experience too, because I had learned my medicine in a foreign language.
Yes.
So my pride had taken a hit
Yes.
at that level. So honestly, I don't see myself as one of those who had my shoulders up.
No.
But still, it take a hit
Yes.
because, especially as I said, as an older person, having to be taught by younger people who think little of you
Yes.
and your
Mhm.
skills,
Yes.
you take a hit.
You take
Mhm.
you take a
Yeah,
big
exactly.
a big hit.
And knowing
yes.
that you are a doctor.
Yes.
But even apart from that, just as a human being,
Yeah. And
because I have been working in other circumstances
yes.
before.
And
And
competent.
Yes, and I have been competent and respected,
Yes.
Mhm.
And here these people don't respect me, one, because I'm a foreigner,
Yeah.
Mhm.
You are a new immigrant.
and two, yes, I'm
Wow.
a new immigrant, and
Two?
two, because I'm older.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Wow.
Right?
Hello.
Wow.
So if you, I just need to take a break here. So sometimes when we talk about how much people who come here as first generation immigrants sacrifice,
Yes.
Dr. Annette is an epitome of that.
Mm.
So to like, if I take education here and I go back to my country, people respect me a lot.
Yes.
So for her to study in Russia, then the Soviet Union, go back to Jamaica, work as a junior doctor, that alone is pride enough. You see, her family members can take it to the bank and get a loan.
Mm-hmm.
And now she comes to Canada and she has to reinvent herself, have to change career, have to change everything to become a different thing and studying it. So I see that as a sacrifice, not just for herself, not just for her family, but for everybody who are watching us right now. If you are a new immigrant, these are some of the sacrifices the first generation immigrants like
Yes.
us have to go through.
Yes.
And I just want to say thank you, Annette.
Mhm.
I am listening to you, and my cousin also studied in Russia, but in my country it's completely different. So he got his medical certificate, everything coming pumped with suitcases coming to Ghana to work, and Ghanaian system is also different. You
Yes.
have to do the exams to
Yes.
get the license.
That's right.
And sometimes when we talk, she said, Sister, yeah, sometimes I felt like I need to kill myself because
Wow.
I wrote that 4 times, and it's not small money. Like if in those times, if you bring
Yes.
it to Canadian, he was paying almost close to $5,000 every time he takes the exams.
Yes,
Wow.
I understand. Because when I went to Jamaica, I did the exams
did,
too.
yes,
Yes,
yeah.
Mhm.
I had to do the exams as well.
And when he passed, it was for us as a family member, we really celebrated. But he said, I did so many things just to calm the pain.
Yes.
And so to have Annette here today, guys, that is too much.
Mhm.
Yes.
How does your family value the sacrifices that you have invested all these years?
You know, I believe that as a family, we have pulled together probably tighter
That's very beautiful.
because my husband also made his own sacrifices,
Yes.
Mhm.
you know,
Wow.
and so we tell our children that, it's not that we had a bad life
Or we couldn't go
or we
far.
couldn't go far,
Yes.
but we wanted to make things easier for our children.
Mhm.
And perhaps also for us, one other consideration was the environment in Jamaica
Mhm.
because crime and violence was really picking up
Mhm.
and economic instability. Those are the reasons why we decided to migrate.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so they understood. And so now the onus is make the most of the opportunity.
Of all the sacrifices that
Yes.
the two of you have made for him.
Yes. And so when we went as a family to Africa,
Hey.
Wow.
we have only done it once, but it was an amazing experience.
Yes.
Mhm.
But it made such an impression on the children.
Yes.
My son loved it.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Right? But it also made him realize what his dad had gone
Has
through
gone through.
Mhm.
to make a better life.
Oh,
Wow.
yes.
Yes. My daughter too, but I think for her a different way,
Mhm.
Yes.
Because she was older and more used to comfort.
Oh,
If
yes.
she's watching this, sorry, my love.
No, she's watching this, and I think she's more prouder than you today than even all the things that she knows.
Yes. So, seeing how even though we are still in humble settings,
Mhm.
but still to see where your family
Comes
has worked.
from.
Yes,
Mhm.
it does something,
It
Yes.
does something to
Mhm.
you know, and gives them. My son is so determined,
passionate.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah,
Passionate.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
yeah.
right?
That is
And
very good.
and my daughter as well. She's quieter, but works hard,
Mhm.
and to the point where she left to go to Australia to study at 18 years old.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so she also gonna have her own share. I don't think you're gonna have that share. When yeah, because at least
Yes.
parents have done a little bit of background setup, so there's a platform for her.
Yes,
Than you,
that's
who
right.
came. So if even if she start a family, there's Dr. Annette here to be a grandmother. No, honestly, like
It's true.
we haven't talked about the environment and the food and everything to change. But when I had 3 of my kids back home in Ghana, when I had my last child here, you know, I wake up every day crying.
Yes.
Because right from the hospital, I have to go to the kitchen, which has never happened to me. I didn't even know how to bathe a
Exactly.
baby.
Wow.
Because for the first 2 months, they're taking care
They
of
just
you.
they just want
You have
you
everybody.
only breastfeed the
You
baby
had-
and
you
eat
had a-
and sleep.
You had a privileged life.
I never valued it until I had a baby here. And when
Okay.
there was nobody to say, okay, here, give me the baby, go have a nap. That was when I realized that, oh.
Yeah.
So how did that, like the first you have a child which is 2 years navigating the weather.
Okay. So, you know, in all of these, still, our faith, my faith in particular, has been strengthened because I saw where God put people
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Exactly.
who were not family,
Mm-hmm.
who became like family in the place that we were at. Because I had relatives, but they didn't live close to
Close
us.
to you, yes.
So occasionally they would come, you know, and we would meet. But there was a lady who her circumstances were that she's married, but her husband was away, and she had 5 girls.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness.
Also,
Here in Canada.
yes.
Oh wow. I
Also-
want her.
Yeah.
Also of Jamaican
Oh,
descent.
that's
Wow,
very beautiful.
wow.
Yeah.
But she had been, I think she was born here.
Okay.
So she helped me navigate the early days.
That is so beautiful.
And there were days when I would leave my son with her and the 5 girls, and she would call him, "Come, Joey."
Oh,
And he's
so-
just one of the
just
lot.
one of yes.
Yes,
Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's be part of us.
yes. And I would get to go and do certain things. When I was studying, I had to change different babysitters,
Yes.
but eventually I found somebody of African culture who helped to take care of him until I was finished.
Wow.
You know, and so just the right people at
Yeah,
each
That
step
each step.
Yeah.
of the way.
Isn't
to
that
help.
funny?
I'm telling you.
Because in any stage you realize that God sends people,
Yes,
It's
and
right.
it sometimes they come for a season.
yes,
Sometimes they come for, most of them come for a season.
yes,
At that very time when you need them, and
Yes.
there's just one person who's just going to come and relieve the pain and help
Yes.
you. And then every stage in life, if you look back, you realize that that person was God sent.
yes,
Yes.
definitely, because there's also a family, and they didn't stay. We lived in an apartment building for a while, for 1 year in that apartment building. And so there were times when that lady, this is another one, she would leave her children with me, and I could leave my son with her.
30 years.
You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so we tried to balance it like that as well. So, you know, and I don't know where those people are now.
You don't,
Mhm.
but
Because
they came.
Yeah.
it was for a season.
Season, yes.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yes.
beautiful. So we look at the importance of building relationship
yes,
and building a community.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, sometimes just
Yes.
go knock your neighbors. So if you live in an apartment and you don't know your
Yes.
next door neighbors, you are not doing good.
That's right.
It's
And
true.
don't build barriers.
Don't
No.
Because
burn bridges as well.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Because we need each other especially when it comes to the first years.
The first
Mhm.
few years.
Yes.
Even now.
Even now, yes.
Even now,
now,
yeah,
yes.
you meet people and they really make impact on you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that is so beautiful. What is one story, and I want you to go to the winter, that you will
Oh.
never forget? I have my own winter story.
I'm telling you, I will never forget because there is more snow in Ontario than here in
You are
Edmonton.
kidding me.
Yes. You have lake effect snow. So it might not get as cold as it gets here in
Oh,
Edmonton, but there are
but the
times when you get a
snow.
lot of snow where you can hardly see in front of you.
Really?
Yes. And I
I
remember
thought Edmonton has the most snow ever, and I don't want
no, Nova Scotia is even worse.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that is another story. But this, when you ask me that, the one story that comes to me, I can see myself and my son now. It was one afternoon and I decided to go to the mall with him on the bus. It wasn't far.
Yeah.
And as we went, the snow started coming down. And in those days, I think I did not recognize the impact of checking the weather before
You
going
go,
out.
yes,
So
because we come from a place where
It's
we
always
don't
warm.
check, we don't look for jackets and boots before we step outside.
we had on our winter gear.
Yeah,
But
checking the weather is
to
another
know
thing.
whether it's going to have a blizzard or not.
Or not, yeah.
Mhm.
And the snow started coming down on our way to the mall. So we went to the mall, did our business, and coming back, it was so heavy.
Wow.
And as I'm telling you, it was about 10 minutes on the bus. But by the time we came off the bus to walk
to the apartment,
to the apartment building, you could not see 5 feet in front of you the way how the snow was heavy and
oh my
blowing.
goodness, and
And
blowing.
And it was afternoon, but it was dark.
Wow.
It wasn't late. And so he held on to me.
How old was he
For
then?
dear life.
Yes, for dear life. So he was probably about 4 at the
Oh,
time.
yes.
And he's holding on to me. And we cannot look straight ahead
Yeah, because the snow
is blowing in our faces.
Oh.
And I'm just saying, oh God, help us to reach.
to reach home safely. And we'll never do that again.
Yes, and it's just good that we didn't have to go through any bushes.
Oh
Or it's
yeah,
not
even
that far.
Oh my goodness.
But we just had to take it, just plodding one step in front of the other. And I had to hold him because the wind was so strong. I had to be fighting against the wind and holding on to him. Oh my God. You know, that was you said one story,
story.
Another story,
Tell me
short,
more.
is when I was studying and I came home I would have to take the GO train to Hamilton for classes and then back. And I came back on the GO train, have to take a bus to go to the babysitter, take the bus back to another station and then bus back home.
Oh goodness. I think you can recognize this story.
Yes.
Yes, if you are here in Canada, the winter is
It's
don't go there.
brutal.
I went, train home from university, bus to babysitter, and bus from babysitter back to the station to get now the bus home. It is night, it is freezing cold. So I saw the bus come, it has to go down to the end and then come back. So I said, okay, let us stay inside the station until it comes back from the loop at the end. And just as I am going back out to catch the bus drive past us because there's nobody else at the station. And the boy is holding on to me and I cannot run.
Yes, and the bus is gone.
And the bus is gone.
15 minutes.
For another, more than that, I think it was half an hour because it's evening now.
Yes.
So,
Oh goodness.
no bus. I said, oh my God. we are cold,
Yes.
Wow.
hungry.
Oh.
We have to go back inside the station and wait
Wow. Wow.
and make sure that it doesn't happen the
And
second time.
so then you have to brace yourself to
Go
and
stand
outside
outside.
for at least 5 minutes. Yes.
Or 10 minutes.
Yes.
Because
so
sometimes if they don't see anybody
when they are going for
when
the
they're
loop,
going for the loop,
they get there.
they get there, they just come straight through and go.
And here you are as a woman who lived comfortable in Jamaica
Yeah, I
as
was
a doctor.
driving.
And now,
Now you are chasing buses.
can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh my goodness.
Yes. Before my son came, I had my little car and
It's humbling. Canada can
Yes.
humble you.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, it will humble you.
Yes.
You know, like when
And
I
yes.
came here, I used to tell people that my name, my last name is my father's tribe. They are these people who are like, so I never changed my name because when I mention my name and people will turn because of the name, and then you come here and you mention your name and you are saying what? It's Canada will humble you.
Yes.
But it's a land of opportunity.
Yes.
How have you seen that?
Okay. So now I don't feel all right. You have expectations
Yes.
then when you say you are Dr. So and so.
Yes.
I don't mention it most of the time now.
That's what me. I've been calling you Annette until today. Guys, this is Dr. Annette.
This is Dr. Annette. I always call her doctor, and this is like, no, Patricia. I'm like, you are the doctor.
You are a doctor.
Right. So I don't mention that now because, and this is something I have learned and which my husband had said it from before in a different instance, but it should not matter what your title is. And I learned that again in church. You are not what you do.
Yes, you are not your title.
You are not your title. You are who you are. So even in the humbling, it makes you realize who you are. And so for the opportunities now, I realize, okay, I may not be earning as much as
a medical doctor,
yes. But I am earning enough where our family is able to have
a
comfortable life.
That is so beautiful.
Our children, once they apply themselves, have been able to continue to work and get good grades. And we tell them, you can do anything.
Anything, yes.
Because the opportunity is there for you as long as you work hard. And so that is one of the things. Because of their work ethic, their peers recognize that they are serious, their teachers recognize that they are serious, and they are recognized for their hard work.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I've seen your children. You've raised good children.
Oh. Those are the badges.
Yes.
Those that is so beautiful, Dr. Annette. And thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Guys, if you just join us, this is Sizwe Podcast. I'm here with Patricia, and this is Dr. Annette. She doesn't want to say it because she has Canadian system has really changed that dimension, but she has no regret in her that she didn't get a chance to practice the medicine when she arrived in Canada. She's good. She has children and family that she's so proud of. I think most of us have gone through that, and if you are listening to us and you are an immigrant, we come here, and there's one thing that I always say. When I came here, I felt so I don't know how to explain it, but I felt, am I in the right place? Because they don't recognize anything that I brought. I was unskilled. Honestly, I had no skill, and I have to learn what they call the Canadian. How they call it? The Canadian culture. Like I need to volunteer
Yes.
to be able to understand the terrain, and I hated it and I hated myself. But the last 2 years I was called to say something in a conference, and from out of nowhere, when I stood up, you know what I said? I said, I thank the system that didn't allow me to use my certificate to work, but gave me the opportunity to understand and learn the Canadian way of doing things. To tell you the truth.
Mm.
Yes.
I said, am I the one saying it? But there's a beauty in what we have learned here.
Yes.
The work ethics, the culture, the people, the relationship that you build.
Yes.
It's completely different, and I hope
Yes.
that is solace enough. Because for me,
Yes.
to look at you, I have never envisaged to be a doctor, and I have so much respect for people,
doctors, yeah.
for doctors. So for you to sacrifice that, and now I still see you so beautiful and smiling. You give me so much hope.
Oh, thank you for your kind words.
Patricia, you have something to say?
Oh, Annette, thank you very much for your story. Yeah, I still call you Dr. Annette.
Yes, please.
You always be a
I will
doctor
change.
to
I will
me.
change my words.
Oh, please. No. Don't change. Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure, and
Yes.
hopefully we'll talk some more about how you met your husband.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
We still have
To
to
the
talk
point
about
where
that.
the two of you were speaking Russian language, and you perfected in it to
Yes.
be able to be an interpreter is just so beautiful.
And for them to match cultures, because he's
He's
from
West
Africa
Africa.
and
Yes.
you are from Jamaica.
Yes.
So to match these cultures and then come to Canada,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
have to tell us how you navigated that. What lessons
Yes.
are you sharing as a family?
That is
Yeah.
another story.
Thank you so much, Annette, and thank you for honoring this invitation. If you just join us, we are closing the curtains. Don't worry, we are bringing you another story over and over again. And if you have any important or just simple immigration stories to share, I have my own story. I know Patricia is begging me every day to tell my story, but I want to listen to more stories, more than
Before
just
you tell
telling.
yours.
You can also contact
Yes.
Sizwe Podcast, and we will have you here in our studios. Thank you for joining us, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I think we did good.